Hey, what's up, Dota? Hello, Kevin. Nice to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. I'm fiddling with my stream stuff. Okay. I think it's I'm trying a new streaming service out today, so I think it's all working okay right now. We'll see how this goes. I was trying to figure out if I was improving my AI prompts today. Good for you, good for you. Doesn't sound like a terribly fun way to spend your time, but if that's what you're into, more power to you. Oh crap, I forgot I was making coffee. Hold on one sec. Oh. That is the perfect way to improve your AI prompts. Make no mistakes, maximum effort, keep it as simple as possible. Is it 8 a.m. for you? Yes, it is 8:21 a.m. for me. It is indeed. Three shot and specific tasks seem like a good idea, but really, I don't know. Um, Oh, are you talking about improving your AI prompts? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really go in for all the AI shamanism stuff. I feel like if you just tell the agent what to do, it works most of the time. You know? I mean, that's why I've always said, like, tell people, like, I don't find it terribly interesting to do work with an agent that you already know how to do. You know? It's like I actually saw a LinkedIn post, or I saw it on Twitter too. Let me pull it up. It's by the guy who made boot.dev. It's a pretty funny tweet. Let's see if I can find it. For some reason, that's fun for me. Of course, man. I think people are having a crap ton of fun. I think people are having more fun building the AI systems than they are actually doing anything with the AI systems. Let's see if I can find. But I thought his take was kind of funny. I think his name's Lane, right? Lane Wag. There. Yeah, this guy. This one right here. He said, the reason good engineers get 10x more out of AI than people who didn't write code in the before times is that there's basically no need for insane tricks to get what you want from the model. It's not make a plan, then do an adversarial review, then ask another model to critique the plan, then implement the test, then write the code that passes the test, and make a PR, then write a summary of the PR and generate a video of that summary for me to watch TikTok style. It's do exactly what the fuck I said. I'll read the code when you're done. I felt like that was like, yeah, that's, I fuck with that. That's good advice, I feel like. Hey, good to see you, Justin. Hello, Arvin. Good to see you, Fanberg. Hope you guys are doing well. We were having a brief conversation about prompt optimization. I think skills are largely unexplored all the same. I don't know, man. I just don't, the whole like tickle the AI just right thing.
Did we just become best friends?
Dev Nodachi, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. We nearly got your pot us back in Turkey. Oh, POTUS. I was like POTUS. What are you talking about? POTUS. Honestly, most of my productivity gains I get from AI is not because the model is so great, but because I'm not really a good developer. It's a tough pill to swallow. There's some self-awareness there. I doubt you're not a good developer though. We're our worst critics, so I bet you are a much better developer than what you believe yourself to be. That take is really true. If you know how to program AI, super useful. If you don't know how to program, you won't have the ability to tell it exactly what it needs and why those large language models. Work it's largely dependent on can infer what you mean by exactly what you mean. Still figuring out how to TDD with it. It does seem relatively good at write tests around this awful untested code block. Yeah, I mean, you know my feelings on AI. I can use it. I know how to use it. I don't care to use it. But all good. My political joke went underappreciated. It's not underappreciated. It just went over my head. It was too clever. I'm not a very smart human being. You got to keep the joke simple. I'm what you'd call a syntax Andy. I doubt it. Apparently, I'm part of the permanent underclass though, because I haven't become AI pilled. I'm part of the permanent underclass. Hopefully one day I'll be able to make it out. Oh, I didn't realize that, Arvin. That's crazy. I have not been on the news this morning, so. One guy at work added Claude PR reviewer to all the repositories in an hour with AI. Talking like 60, 70 repositories. I don't know what that means. Is that like super impressive or? I just hope I can emotionally regulate myself and use AI as a tool rather than let AI use me as a tool for profits. Well, I guess to some extent, if you're an employee at a company, you know, we're all being used as a tool for profits to some degree, one way or another, depending on, I guess, how you want to look at it. Man, I don't have a lot of advice for many people. You know, I think my strongest pieces of advice for anybody about how they should live their life is spend less than you make, invest the difference, be kind. That might be, I mean, other than that, do what you want. As long as it doesn't bother me, you know? Use AI, don't use AI, noodle, don't noodle. Okay, I think we were implementing refresh tokens. The political shit is so brutal recently. I would rather do my Java sheet and play game. I like how you spell shit there. Play games to entertain myself from following political news. Well, I think political news in general is not a very productive use of your time or attention. So much of it is just designed to get a emotional reaction out of you. Okay, I think we did the login. I'm pretty sure we did that. We did all this. I think we were implementing the refresh. Is what we were implementing. So let's see where we were with that handle refresh. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna move the boot.dev screen off to the side. I think it will be hard, but today I will code by hand, review the AI code I prototyped, and fix the issues myself. Try it. Yeah, try it. I mean, I like I said, when I code, I still do use AI, but it's much more as like it's like a read-only mode. That's the best way I can put it. It's not really authoring or generating code for me, but I think you should find the way you like to use it and the way it works best for you. And I think you should just look at it as a tool. And if you like using it, use it. If you don't, you know, there's still people who program with Vim, you know, with no IntelliSense. So you may author your code the best way it suits you. Embrace, reject politics, embrace nerddom. That could go on a t-shirt. I watched a presentation by a guy who said some daily game similar to Wordle for like 100,000 or so. Wow, that's crazy. I want to sell a Wordle game for $100,000. That's wild. I use the easy button. Now I have a broken prototype, but I don't want to just remove it all because it does have some good. Yeah, the comprehension tax. Now you got to sort through what you got. You know, trade-offs, right? Trade-offs. Dota, yeah, I asked him questions. I'm basically an expert now. What are you an expert on? What did he make you an expert on? Arvin, it's me. That guy programs Java in plain plug-in-less Vim without LSP. There's a guy I watch code online. He does like Ubuntu. Not Ubuntu. He does like Linux development. Let me see if I can find his channel. I always like to shout out people that I... Whoops. What is his name? I hope I'm subscribed to him. Can you search this? Linux developer live stream, but he codes like that. He doesn't have like this guy. Code Therapy with Rene Rebay. I don't know how to say his last name. Yeah, he's fun to watch program because he just works all from the terminal. He basically uses Vim. There's very little there's very little tooling at all from what it looks like. And I find him very impressive to watch work. T-Soding is kind of the same way. I watch him on Twitch from time to time. He has kind of a similar... Just some good old trad coding, you know? He's insanely good at programming. He's a unique specimen. Dota, monetizing side projects? Okay, well, Dota, why don't you start me 4 or 5 side projects and go ahead and monetize them bitches for about $100,000 each. And I'll split the cut with you 50-50. I'm a procrastination engineer. Lovely. Oh, Kevin, you like watching that guy too? Nice, yeah. Yeah, I very much enjoy his streams. Yeah. That guy that got swatted live on his birthday? What? I don't know who you're talking about there, Arvin. He mogs my vibe coding. He called me right wing for thinking renewable energy is more expensive than coal. Interesting. I didn't even realize at the time the subject had turned political. Huh. Very strange. Very strange. Well, if you ever figure out how to easily sell a side project for $100,000, you let me know. How we achieve AGI, we distill as brain model, like how Chinese models distill Claude, and then we achieve AGI. Yeah. I think that's the funniest shit in the AI sphere is people being angry about Chinese companies distilling AI models when when their models were stolen on, or when their models were built on stolen information. You know, it's just really funny. It's like that Spider-Man meme, you know. Oh, I guess I can put away the coffee can. Rene got swatted live on his birthday. One of his watchers made fun of him. Oh, really? Well, that's not very cool. He seems like a completely nice guy. I don't know why someone would do that to him. For sure. I'll be so rich when I tell you. Dude. I've probably not even made $10 from any side project I've ever built. So it probably doesn't take much. I'm just a freeloader. When Western AI corps pop, I'll go and leech off the Chinese providers. It's a strategy. Steven, you sound like an American, but your personality gives Canadian. Really? Huh. I've never met very many Canadians in my life. There's quite a lot of content creators that are Canadian, you know, like Z-Laner's Canadian, I think. Bash Bunny's Canadian. I think Janet A. Carr's Canadian. I'm trying to think of any other people that pop up. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the streamer content creator gene runs strong in the Canadians. Canada equals USA without Flock. What's Flock? Flock cameras. Oh, I haven't heard about it. Is this a thing? Flock cameras? You guys are distracting me this morning. Flock cameras. Flock safety cameras spark debate over surveillance in Mount Clemens. Flock cameras targeted by vandals across. What is happening with these Flock cameras? And how did I not know about this? Okay, a company facing increasing scrutiny of its nationwide car tracking technology announced several updates on Thursday. Interesting. Oh, this isn't too far away from me. A camera pole was cut down in Kearney. What? Okay, I need to find... I need to find like I'm surprised I have not heard of it. I guess I've been out of the loop. What is the deal with Flock cameras? Maybe somebody made a YouTube video about it. People don't like being recorded. Well, yeah. I mean, have you seen all the backlash against the Meta glasses? People are very angry about the Meta glasses. Oh, he made like a 22-minute video. I don't want to watch 22 minutes of it, but right now,
real investigative.
Summarize. I promise, Dave, I'll come back and watch it later. Oh, it's a law enforcement tool? The system uses hot lists to notify officers of vehicles associated with active investigations, allowing for rapid response. Oh. That's some like next level surveillance stuff. That reminds me of that movie with Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt AI movie. Did you guys see that? Yeah, Mercy. That's what that reminds me of. It's a little dystopian, but yeah, I could see why people would be upset about that stuff. Yeah, I can see. I mean, I can definitely understand why law enforcement would find it incredibly useful and powerful, but I can also understand why people would be angry about it. One of the only states without any flock cameras is Alaska. they're like, those people have it hard enough. We don't need to surveil them. Yeah. Luckily for Steven, he is a streamer, so he already surveils himself. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad point. Okay, so if that's nil, we have a problem. Now we need to get the existing refresh token. All right, existing refresh token, air equals s.database. Get refresh token by token. That if air does not equal nil, we have a problem. Return. If we have the existing refresh token, we need to see if it is revoked or expired. So let's say if existing refresh token expires at if it's expired, then expired at will be less than or equal to time.now. Okay, so how do I compare time? Go check if time is less than or equal to. Hello, Zolo. Hi, Steven. Been a while. How are you doing? What are you working on? I've been good. Yeah, it has been a while because I don't super remember your username, but I've been good. Yeah, life's good. My wife's healthy. My kids are healthy. So no real complaints. And then as far as what we're working on, we are working on getting to level 100 on boot.dev, which is like it's like a gamified coding education platform. It's fun. So we can do if expires at is before time.now. Or if existing refresh token dot revoked at dot valid. So I think valid just indicates that it's not null. And if time is not null, then it's been revoked. Otherwise, we can do the refresh. Hey, what's up? Good Artwork Studios. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. What I'm currently working on is an editor for a game my classmate and I are working on. Very cool. Very cool. Sounds very ambitious. Sounds very ambitious. Yeah, I've been using boot.dev. By the way, how do you get time to stream with kids around? I barely have time to code apart from work and to only on weekends. Yeah, so the way I've tried to make it work is by doing it very early in the morning. So like today is a rarity where it's a weekend, so it's not really a big deal to like take the morning and stream. But during the week, during the week, the best time I can get it in is to wake up super early. So I usually get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and stream for 2 or 3 hours before everyone kind of gets up and starts getting ready for their day. And that's been hard to be consistent and maintain at times, but it's just the only way that I can really feasibly be consistent with it. Otherwise, either I miss out on time with my kids, or I miss out on time with my wife, or something else in my workday kind of pushes it out. So if you go back and look at my YouTube channel like a year and a half ago or so, my streams were much less consistent, and I was doing them like an hour over lunch and then an hour. It was like an hour over lunch and then an hour sometimes in the evening, and that was just, it wasn't long enough. It was, you know, just as you start the stream, you have to end the stream. And so I get it, man. Yeah, it's not easy. You know, if you have a lot of commitments and stuff, streaming is one of those things that it takes a lot of time. So yeah, no real good solution other than wake up earlier. That's my only solution. Brute force approaches. It's tile based, so it has a tile editor, a tile set editor, a world editor where I can stitch these maps together so we can make it open world easily and load only the maps near the player. That sounds awesome. I don't even know if I would know where to start to build that. So that's very cool, man. Yeah, that's a very ambitious project. Way more interesting than what I'm building. You should stream yourself building that, Fanberg. I think people would enjoy watching you build that. Okay. I watch your live before 12-Day War. I'm an elder myself. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how long that war's been going on. It was supposed to just be like a 2-week thing. Okay, so what do I need to do here? What I need to do is basically all the same stuff I did here. Excuse me, we're going to make a new JWT. And a new refresh token. I think Arvin lives in Iran. Sorry, I always say that wrong. It's Iran, I think is how you say it, right? Not Iran. Iran. So that he always talks about the conflict that's currently going on between the US and Iran. Damn it. I cannot say it right. Arvin, I apologize. Okay, so this will be refresh failed. And then we should be able to get the user ID from the refresh token. So we should be able to say existing refresh token dot user ID. And then this is going to be existing refresh token user ID. And then same thing here. If we fail to create the new refresh token, should error. And we should also revoke. So I think we shouldn't revoke it until we get to till all of this is successful. Created refresh token, new access token. Break time. Yes, feel free to lurk away, Artwork Studios. No, the 12-day war from 1 year ago. There was nearly 9 months without war after that. Then the recent war erupted. Oh, well, it shows you how up to date I am on current events. Or it shows how terrible the U.S. has been abroad because I can't keep all the conflicts straight. I am interested about this flop camera situation, though. Do you know about that one great state fair thingy? I do not. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't think code will be our problem, but bottlenecked by game design and art. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes game development so hard is you have to do all of it, right? You have to do the game, you have to do the game logic, the design of the gameplay, and have nice, pretty looking things. And you got to do music and sound effects. You got to do all of it. It's called the Great American State Fair. No, I've not heard of that. That one's a new one for me. But the positives, I suppose you won't run out of things to do and learn. That's true. That's 100% true. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess I understand now what that's all about if anybody mentions that again. Turns out it was quite the flop, so I was curious if you knew about it. No, that's the first I've heard of it. Unfortunate it flopped, though. Feel bad for whoever spent all the money to put it on. Steven, the car fuel at Artworks country has jumped up because your country, my country, is at war, and we are in chat yapping and chilling. Think about the yeah, it is absurd. The absurdity of the world, the fact that there's trillionaires in our world now and children still starve to death, right? So yeah, the world is full of absurdity. There's kids dying of cancer, and we'd rather spend our days talking about agentic harnesses. So I totally am aware of and recognize the absurdity of the world. How about some agentic healthcare? Yeah, how about we just devote some technology and science and some money to actually meaningfully improving people's lives versus figuring out how to spend more tokens. All right. Let's lock in a little bit here and try to make some progress on this thing. All right. So we need to respond with a new refresh token. No, a new access token. Okay, I don't really understand. I think I'm ahead of myself here. So I am going to remove this, and I'm just going to do exactly what they're asking for. And I'm going to say write JSON response. And we're going to do, let's do refresh type, refresh token response. And this is going to have one field called token. It's going to be a string. It's going to be called token. Oh, I guess we should check the error. We should check the error here. This should be return. We should write a JSON response. Say we had some sort of internal server error. We'll say error failed to refresh token. I am going to put a to do here though, because we probably should do some management of the refresh token here. Well, actually, we shouldn't do some management of the refresh token. Well, actually, we should. We should rotate the refresh token. Every time you get a new access token, you should also get a new refresh token. We should rotate the refresh token. If we were. Okay. Now they want us to create a new post that revokes the refresh token. So we'll do mux handle func. I'm gonna inject bloodstream full of well-boiled HQ Robusta coffee, then I'll join y'all motherfuckers productivity. Man, Arvin, you're on one today, man. You're fired up. That sounds like a wonderful plan, though. Handle revoke. Do you know the Lin Lang Gooly Gooly fish meme? We already got a monster based on him and he's beautiful. I do not know. I am very out of touch with the internet culture. You know? Like I'm online, but I'm not online. So the likelihood that I know references like that are pretty low. I suppose I'm onliner than you. Yeah, I don't know. I just like I am on the internet, but I just have never kind of found myself falling down sort of the, I don't want to say it's like brain rot culture, but just like maybe the memeier side of the internet. Yeah, I'm not really. Yeah, I guess the Gen Z hole. Yeah, that's the Gen Z rabbit hole side of the internet is not currently a place I spend a lot of time. Okay, so we need to do the same thing up here, where we say get the refresh token. If dudes from my country managed to get POTUS back in Turkey, by now we would have gotten juicy UX nukes by now. Arvin, you're saying some wild stuff today, man. I don't want anyone to get hurt. And I don't think the use of nuclear weapons is a good thing. All right, so I'm not really sure what we should return here. If the error is not nil, then I guess what we'll do is we'll say bad request, maybe. We'll say no refresh token present. And then if we need to look it up, if we do have it, so we'll say existing refresh token. This is going to be server database dot get, whoops, database dot get refresh token by token, pass in the context. Okay, enough with political dark humor today. I swear, F that shit. Yeah, fuck that shit. Yes. I agree with this. Okay, if error does not equal nil, I don't think we want to tell them that we can't. I don't think we want to acknowledge that it's not found, because then somebody could just sit there and probably brute force look up refresh tokens. I'm just gonna do this. I'll just do not found for now. This is just a toy API anyways, it's fine. It's fine. If it gets hacked, it gets hacked. No refresh token. Unable to refresh token. We'll just do that. And then if we do have it, we need to revoke it. So what we'll do is we'll do existing refresh token dot updated at equals time dot now, and then existing refresh token revoke dat dot time equals time dot now and existing refresh token dot revoked valid equals true. And what we can probably do is we could probably even add this as a unused right to field updated at. What do you mean unused right? I've never seen that diagnostic before. Unused right to field. Maybe that just means because we haven't saved it. Oh, I know what I did. We don't have to do this. We can do this. We can say error equals s database, and we can do revoke refresh token. I wrote a query for this already, and this is going to be existing refresh token dot token. Why are you complaining? Oh, because I'm assigning to error. Yeah. I am going to update this though, because I think this has a small bug in it. We should also set updated at equal to now. SQL C generate. Syntax error at or near set. Can you not do multiple SQL update multiple set? Oh, you can do multiple fields with commas. That. There we go. Okay, so that should... Okay, so if there was an error, then we'll return a 500 response because something has gone horribly wrong. Unable to revoke token. Otherwise, we do this HTTP dot response. What do we want to respond with? No content. No content. No content. That. Yes, I think that looks good. This COVID thing is no joke. I've been super sick for 4 days now. You have COVID? That sucks, man. People still getting that, huh? Sorry, I missed your earlier message too, man. But yeah, sorry about the COVID, dude. I hope you feel better. Being sick is the worst, you know? That's why people always ask me whenever somebody asks me like, hey bro, how you doing? The my like filter to answer that question is, am I sick? Is my wife sick? Are any of my kids sick? And if the answer to those questions are all no, then life is good. You know, your health is just, your health is the one thing that you just honestly, you just can never take for granted, because if you don't have your health, you really don't have anything, you know? I need to remember that next time someone asks me that. I mean, it really is true. Like I can't remember who I heard say this. They said, you know, if you're healthy, you've got 99 problems, but if you're unhealthy, you've got one problem, which is really the truth, right? Because whenever you get sick or injured, everything in life kind of goes to the very bottom of the priority list. And so you've really got to make sure you take care of yourself and make that a priority, which is sometimes hard to do in the world we live in today, but it is desperately needed. I think I implemented all this. Let's go ahead and try to submit it. Do I have any armor? I do have armor, so that's good. All right, submission time. Here we go. Ah, I failed. Failed step 8. Okay, looks like we failed revoking a token. Response status was 500. So something happened when we refreshed the token. So what happened? Let's go ahead and log the error out. Let's say error revoking token. %W error. Nope. %V. Okay. And then let's resubmit this, but let's not submit it. Let's just run it. Error revoking token, column revoked of relation refresh tokens does not exist. Yes, you would be correct. It does not exist. It should be revoked at. SQL C generate. Go back over here. Let's remove that log statement. -S. There we go. Let's go. Go is so fun language. What other languages you use and like? So my favorite is C#, and after that's probably TypeScript. So I always answer this question in two ways. My favorite language is C#, but if I could only write one language ever again, it would be TypeScript. Go is fun. I've also written quite a bit of Rust recently. I like Rust. It's not as fun to write as Go, in my opinion, but I think that's because I'm kind of a noob at writing Rust. I did not particularly enjoy my experience with C, so I don't think I'll be writing much C in the future. I've written quite a bit of Python, but I do not like writing Python, and I avoid it whenever possible. I think that covers all the languages that I've ever tried. I'd still like to try Zig, though. I'd still like to try Zig. I'd like to try some weird, like, truly functional programming language, like Haskell or F#, or, you know, one of those languages that's kind of out there on the spectrum a little bit. But Go is fun, for sure. That person on Twitch, not medical advice, but increase your vitamin D intake a lot for a short period. I'm telling you, man, life feels a lot better when you get out in the sun and touch some grass. Feels a lot more manageable. Ah, yes, the almighty typo. It brings us all down, doesn't it? Sounds like you are an Anders design language enjoyer. Yes, I do. Yeah, and I did not know that for the longest time. I didn't really know much about the development of C# or TypeScript until I watched some really great documentaries on the Honeypot YouTube channel, which is now called Cult Repo. And then when I found out that TypeScript and C# were both largely, C# I think was entirely Anders' baby, but then I think TypeScript was sort of, Anders came in after TypeScript had started being developed, I think, and then he kind of took over as a lead on it. But yeah, I very much enjoy the languages he's created. And I very much enjoy, I think, him as an individual. Based on all the interviews and things I've read and listened to him talk about, yeah, I very much enjoy his take on things. Okay, what are we doing now? While authentication is about verifying who a user is, authorization is about verifying what a user is allowed to do. We already have a bit of authorization built into Chirpy. Authenticated users can only create chirps for themselves, not for others. Excuse me, add a put endpoint so that users can update their own, but not others' email and password. It requires an access token in the header, a new password, and email in the request body. Hash the password, then update the hashed password and the email for the authenticated user in the database. Respond with a 200 if everything is successful. Okay, if the access token is malformed or missing, respond with a 401. Okay. I mean, more vitamin D intake can alter the mood for sure. Yeah, I mean, life just feels way more manageable when you hydrate and you feed yourself and you move your body and you get out in the sun. Basically, life is better when you actually act like a fucking human being. Move your body, drink some water, eat some decent food, get out in the sun. Link and the TPL are just beautiful. I don't know what TPL stands for, Ryan. But yeah, Link is wonderful. Although Link is this wonderfully beautiful, fluent, great experience to write with a lot of hidden foot guns in it once you start using it to do things that aren't necessarily... How do I put this? Link is a wonderfully and beautifully designed feature of the language that is a joy to use, but you can easily shoot yourself in the foot with it. I really like static extension methods in C#. Hope they make it to type. Dude, it would be awesome if extension methods made it to TypeScript someday, but I thought about this quite a bit because that's the one feature in C# I use all the time and I always want to reach for in TypeScript. But there's not really a great way to do it without mutating the underlying type's prototype, right? And that's kind of a no-no. You're not really supposed to do that. Yeah, which is unfortunate. But maybe they could come up with maybe since TypeScript does go through a transpilation step, maybe there's a way that they can, maybe there's a clever way they can accomplish it. Instruction unclear. I smoked the grass and touched the D. Hey man, you do you. I'm not gonna judge how you live your life, okay? the parallel library, the ability to write some iterables and call dot parallel. Oh, I haven't used that much myself. If I've done anything in parallel, it's usually been like parallel dot for each or parallel dot for each async. I haven't used the I guess the link equivalent of that. The other thing I'd like to see come to TypeScript, this is such a small thing. It's so dumb that I want this, but I use it all the time in C# and I wish it was available in TypeScript. Is, you know how in C# you can do something like say you have a class greeter, you know, and it has some property on it, message, right? I wish I could do something like this, name of message. I wish there was some way to have a reflection. I mean, I know TypeScript has something like reflection that you can do, but you have to declare something in your tsconfig.json to make it all work properly. But I wish there was the ability to just get the name of things instead of having to do magic strings. And I use that all the time in C#. And whenever I reach for it in TypeScript and it's not there, I get frustrated. So please, Anders Heilsberg, add a name of method in TypeScript. Hey, what's up, Suhas? Your message came in as 3 messages. Did you mean to do that? Oh man, you scared me. I felt like a breeze of air, and I thought it was a ghost for a second. What are you doing? You just came down here to hang out? Just chilling? Is mom making you ramen? Nice, nice. Ramen for breakfast. I like it. What did you say? Is there actually a chat that's watching? Yeah. There's some people there. Yeah, that's my son, or my youngest son. Yeah, there's some people there. See, look, I made this chat app. See that? So you can. It has Twitch and YouTube chat in it. That's pretty cool, right? What's mom doing upstairs?
Just chilling. Making meat and salad.
Making you noodles?
Yeah.
He does not understand the complexity of that simple task. Yeah, but I mean, that's, my wife doesn't either. There's so many times over the last 5 years where I've built something and then like I've gone to like show my wife and it's so anticlimactic, you know, because it's something I spent, you know, hours on or whatever. And, you know, all she sees is like, oh, you click a button and something happens. You know? But she always indulges me. She's always like, good job, honey. here we have industrial made ramen that gives blood pressure like crazy. Eat 2 per day for a week and you die. That's some crazy ramen. It happens with your mom. Yeah. It's hard to appreciate. I mean, I'm sure I do that to other people, right? In other things where there's so much work and complexity that goes into something that I just don't appreciate because I'm ignorant of it, you know? I think it's a good reminder to not trivialize things, you know? Okay, so we're gonna create an update user endpoint. So we'll do handle func, put API users server dot handle update user. Let's see, type. Update user. This has a all right, so first and foremost, we need our access token. So let's get that. If there is an error here, we have a problem. You are not authorized to perform this action. And then out of the access token, we need the actual JWT, I guess, right? So we do error auth dot Do you hear that, Kylie?
Yeah.
What is that? Is it?
Yeah, I'm watching Mario movie. Wait, the like static?
Yeah, do you hear that?
Yeah,
What is that?
I don't know. It's not part of it.
It must be, mom must be listening to music or something in the kitchen. In Avatar, The Last Airbender, he tries to levitate a rock and people don't understand how complicated it is. Yeah, I mean, I would just be impressed anybody could levitate anything. Okay, where... I could have sworn there's another method on here. Auth. Get bearer token, validate JWT. Yeah, validate JWT is the one I want. So we do valid, there we go. And then we'll pass the access token and the JWT secret. If error, we'll do the same thing. This should be, what is this? This is actually request user ID, like that. Okay, so users can update their own, but not others. Hash the password, then update the hash password and the email for the authenticated user in their database. Respond with a 200. Okay. So now we need to say type update user requests. This would be email. Password. We should probably validate these two. And then if we get through all of this, what should happen? So if it is an authenticated request, then we need to do update user request equals decode JSON requests, like that. And you take in the actual HTTP, or you take in the R. There you go. Okay, so if error does not equal nil, then we write a JSON response, which is going to be a bad request. And we'll just say error able to deserialize request. And then we should probably validate that, like, the email and the password. We can actually, I think, copy the validation logic from the other place. Yeah, that we have some duplication here. This probably needs to be deduped. Like, we could probably unify the login request and this update user struct, but it's whatever. We'll just copy pasta for now. Life will be fine. We can actually just do this. We don't even need to do that. We can just return error. And then this will be update user request dot validate, and you return what? Just an error. Same thing here. Yeah. Okay, so then if the request is valid, now we got to do all the work to modify stuff in the database. So we don't have a query to update a user right now. So we need to write one. So let's do insert into users.
Yeah. I'm good.
Steven chat. Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry about that. Hey, Winterwind. Good to see you. Have you heard of Low Level Academy? I've just started one of their courses. It's super impressive. I have not heard of it. Yeah, let's go and take a peek. Low Level Academy. Oh, is this? I know who Low Level. Isn't his channel Low Level Tech? Is this actually made by him, or is this somebody who's kind of like taken his? Can definitely tell these websites have been vibe coded. Yeah, for sure they've been vibe coded. It's him. Very cool. Yeah, this is very cool. I'll have to add this to my list. I really enjoy his YouTube channel. I like when he breaks down some of the like exploits or hacks, because some of that stuff is kind of above my head. But yeah, I like his YouTube channel. Low Level TV is his YouTube handle. How much is his platform? Every course, one price, $197. Access every course. Is this monthly or how's this work? Looks like he's just getting started, kind of building this out, huh? I don't know if I want to actually be any better at learning C or writing C. Clocking, how do you like Go? I do like Go, yeah. Go's been a ton of fun to learn. I learned it, I started in, what was it, Chad? It was like October or September of last year. We basically started learning it so that we could do Advent of Code. So I did Advent of Code 2025 all in Go, and I've kind of been intermittently still writing it occasionally. We're writing it right now because of boot.dev is taught. Their courses are taught in Go, so that's why we're writing it right now. Yeah, I made a playlist of all the learn with Go or learn Go streams that we did. Man, that was 8 months ago. Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's fun. I'm mainly a C# dev and kind of find it very weird. That's fair. C# is my favorite language. I think the two things that I found annoying about it is there's not a lot of there's far fewer kind of done for you things out of the box, which is kind of odd. There's things that you repeatedly write and you think this has to just exist in the standard library, and they don't. They just this is the one way you do it, and you just do it you just write a loop, man. Just write a loop. And then the error handling is obviously different. The control flow, not having access to exceptions is it's not bad, but when I write code in C#, I kind of like to use both types of control flow. I like to treat errors as values, but I also at times like to be able to bubble up an exception to the very top of an application and just have some kind of global error handler deal with it. So not having that in Go is a little strange to get used to. You hate the enums? I haven't used enums in Go much. But yeah, thank you very much for who made the recommendation on Low Level Academy. Winterwind. Thank you very much for calling this out. Maybe I'll take a spin down one of his courses. What I'd like to do next from an educational standpoint, in terms of money, in terms of spending money on, is I'd like to do Mark Rober's Hack Pack next, and maybe do that with my kids. That seems like would be a ton of fun. But it's also kind of expensive. I think it's 600 or something. Annual? What is annual? $437 for 6 boxes. That's kind of expensive, $400 per year, but I'd like to do this. I think it'd be a ton of fun to build some of this stuff. I've never done much with hardware, so that would be good. Time well spent, I think. But I'll add this to the list of things to check out as well. Thank you very much for the recommendation, man. Appreciate that. They do not exist. They are AOTA. Oh, well, there you go. That explains it. Why I don't know what your problems with enums in Go are, because there are no enums in Go. Can't you though kind of have something similar to it? Can't you do like a constant? It's not exactly the same, but can't you do something like this? Like Suas, you can achieve most of it using a 3D printer and off-the-shelf microcontrollers. Yeah, but then I'd have to go down the rabbit hole of figuring out all that stuff, right? But if I did Mark Rober's Hack Pack, they just kind of package it all up into a nice, easy to get started, which is the value, right? Like, that's the value. Can't you do something like this? And then you can do winter. Which isn't, granted, I understand this isn't exactly. Not exactly an enum, but it'll let you get a little closer to it. Morning, y'all. Good to see you, Big Blue Heron. How you doing? Yeah, that is, but with the keyword iota, it like auto increments. Yes. Yeah, you mean like this. Const value 1 equals this guy. Value 2. Value 3. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not, I mean, that's the one part of TypeScript enums I like better than C# enums, though, is I like that you can have strings as enums in TypeScript. The language that has the best enums is Rust. The fact that you can associate data with enums in Rust is OP. C# should add that. Yeah, maybe it will. You know, we're gonna get union types this year in C#, which is gonna be awesome. And then maybe next year we can get data associated with our enums. Okay, did I implement everything? I got so distracted. What was I doing? Oh, I was gonna write a new query to update the user. So updated hash password equals auth.hash password. Just do http.internal server error. Unable to perform update. Okay, now we have our updated hash password. We should do something like, you should be able to do something like this, database.update user, pass in this guy, and pass in our email. Or let's actually call this update user params. And we'll say update user params. Database.update user params. And then we should be able to say email is update user request.email, and password, which we don't have yet, password is update user request. Oh no, this should be the hash password. Updated, there you go. And then we should be able to check if there was an error. If error does not equal nil, we need to basically write this again. Update error. Like that. Now, none of that exists. And if we were able to update it, we should return what? Respond with a 200 if everything is successful and the newly updated user resource. So we should actually return updated user. And this will need to be update user response, which we don't have yet either, but we will. Go ahead and type it. Type update user response struct. We should have a create user response somewhere. And we should be able to just take that. Email, created that, updated that. I don't think there's anything else we'd want to return. We don't want to return the hash password. So let's go back over to our users queries. Hey, what's up, Big Blue Heron? You headed over to Twitch. I appreciate that. Well met here for the vibes this morning. Yes, we're just chilling, man. Just chilling, drinking some coffee. It's actually time to make another cup of coffee. Once this work session ends, we'll break and make a new cup of coffee. Ryan, I don't get enums. I never reach for them and tend to dislike the resulting code. What's so great? So I don't use enums much in C# or TypeScript myself. If I need something like an enum in C# or TypeScript, I usually just write a class that has constant strings. But if you had Rust-like enums in TypeScript and C#, I would use them more. Because it is nice to have an exhaustive check, and you basically can write what amounts to sort of like a state machine-like implementation where you use your enums to represent all the different cases or states and any context that's relevant to associate with that particular case or state. And then you can make sure that you've addressed what should happen. Like if you've ever done anything in like the Elm architecture, it becomes a really powerful, I think, way to represent your solution or write your code. But yeah, I understand if you write a lot of C# and TypeScript. Yeah, I'm not I don't reach for them that much. But yeah, after writing a lot of Rust code, and I built a TUI using Ratatouille, which is kind of they kind of push you to build using the Elm architecture, and I also wrote a GUI application using Iced, which is a kind of it's a GUI framework in Rust that's built around the Elm architecture as well. And after writing both those applications, it's a really pleasant way to think about building a program and writing a program. Yeah, Elm is great. It really is great. I finally got my PNG tuber app to the alpha stage. Now the work to get it out is on the table. Yeah, man, then I'll have to make my own PNG tuber. I would love to use it, man. Hey, what's up, Mark? Sorry, I missed your message when you showed up in chat. How are you doing, man? Good morning. I'm just here to say hi. Currently cruising on the free CodeCamp C# certification on the way. Awesome, dude. I hope you're enjoying it. I think it's a pretty good course they put together over there. Let's see, Winter. What's the main advantage of Go compared to C, C++, C#, or Rust? I hate Go as much as Java. I have no interest in ever picking it up. I honestly, when you get into these conversations about like the benefits of one language compared to another, I feel like in 2026, I don't know. You know, it's like you can probably make an argument, but at the end of the day, I think you can do most things you want to do in just about any language, and I think just about any language has been used to author just about any type of application or solution. So I feel like I feel like the question is more about what language you want to write and what language you enjoy building with. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's things that are easier to accomplish in C than it is to accomplish in C#. But if you enjoy writing C#, right, that probably means more than trying to force yourself into writing C, or vice versa, right? If you want to write something in Java versus writing it in Go. I don't really go in for the language wars or the editor wars or any of that stuff. I feel like in 2026, you should be using the tools that you enjoy to build what it is you want to build. Like, I just don't think it matters all that much. Have you ever seen Crank.js? I have not. I've never heard about that. Crank.js. Huh. This is completely new to me. What is Crank.js? Crank is a JavaScript TypeScript library for building websites and applications. It is a UI framework where components are defined with plain JavaScript functions, generators, and promises. Okay, so what do we got going on here? We have a generator function. It's a timer. Looks like it yields up messages. And then we have a renderer, which comes from the library. And then we have some sort of definition function. I'm not sure. Oh, this is a component. Okay. And this component fetches some data and then renders those out. It does work with JSX. That's awesome. It uses tried and tested virtual DOM algorithms. Simple components can be defined with functions. Okay, so how does the state work? Is it React? Okay, hold on. Let's try to run some of these examples. This page seems very laggy, or there's something weird going on with the... Huh, this is very intriguing. I don't think I totally understand how the... Crank uses generator functions to define state. Oh, okay, that's how they do. You store state and local variables and yield rather than return to keep it around. That's cool. Go ahead and lurk away, Mark. Appreciate you hanging out here, man. Appreciate it, man. Okay, components re-render based on explicit refresh calls. This level of precision means you can be as messy as you need to be. Never memoize a callback ever again. So where does refresh come from? Right? This is we're in a function, and just all of a sudden you access refresh. Where does that come from? Uh-oh. Looks like this thing's broken or something. This site has like a lag to it. I'm not sure what the deal is here, but there's a lag to this web page. Huh. I'd like to give this a try at some point. This is very interesting. I like the use of the generator and async generator. That's kind of cool. I don't think I like, though, the ambient calls to this.refresh. To me, this seems weird, to be honest with you. See you, Arvin. Thanks for hanging out, man. Have a good day. I didn't even check. All right. Well, I'm going to add this to the list. I'm going to add this to my list of things to try. What was that? I forget what that was called. Yeah, it was crank.js. This is my Rust notepad that this is my notepad app that I built in Rust. I need to go back and add some functionality to it. I need a find and a find and replace functionality that I haven't added yet. All right, we're gonna make some coffee, and then Ryan, it's got a bit of a jQuery vibe in that way. Yeah, but I like that you don't have to write it in the jQuery style. You know what I mean? Like the wonderful part about writing Vue or even maybe something like React is that it has that very declarative nature to it when you author the JavaScript. Whereas with jQuery, you still very much feel like you're manipulating DOM element. You're very much still managing state in the DOM, which feels yucky. I mean, it's very easy when it's simple. When your application or your client side code is simple and the interactivity is very isolated and it isn't complex. But the minute you start dealing with a really complex UI on the client, managing state in the DOM becomes very painful, in my opinion. All right, coffee time. I'm gonna use my newbie editor. Hi there, young man. Man, it's been a while since anybody addressed me as young man. I feel like that stopped maybe in my 20s, but yeah, thank you for making me feel young this morning. All the gray in my hair. It's hard to forget my age these days. Don't say me, you are 30s. I am in my 30s. Yeah, I'm 33. Right? Yeah, 33. Which I feel like it feels old for the internet. But then I always remember that Casey Neistat started his vlog on his 34th birthday. So, you know, I got lots of time to figure out this content creation thing. Crazy bro, you look young. Oh, really? Okay, well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. I have two sons that are 10 and 8. What you doing today? I am doing boot.dev. So we're currently, basically, if you go back for the last 2 months or whatever on stream, the only thing I've been working on is trying to reach Archmage level in boot.dev, which is it's like an online learning platform that has kind of it has a gamified experience to it where you can level up, and their max level is 100. So that's my current mission, current side quest. I'm on level 84 at the moment, but we've been working on it since June. I guess we started seriously working on it in June, as you can see by this commit graph. But it's been fun. It's been fun to do this on stream rather than work on my own projects, because when I work on my own projects on stream, everyone just yells at me for not using AI. Mashiko, hey Mashiko, I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Nice to see you.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, 199, nice to see you. Karuto, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. We don't get many people hanging out over there on Twitch, so it's very kind of you. quite new here. Well, I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Imagine 3 years ago you'll be shamed for using AI. Now you're being shamed for not using AI. Yeah, man, that's why you can't chase the crowd, you know? It's much better just to let the crowd come to you and then go away from you. You know, you spend your whole life chasing other people's opinion of what you should or shouldn't be doing, and that is a life wasted. All right, we got our coffee. We got our coffee. Put this back over on this screen. Okay, so now we're going to implement some authorization. No, we already did that. Now we need to implement updating the user. Whoops. Updating the user. Been a while, been doing some tinkering in the background. Need to get back on the programming. Very cool, very cool. It has been a while since I've seen you around, but that's no big deal. You know, we all got lives. So in work, do you use Go mostly? No, I don't. At work, I use mostly TypeScript and C#. TypeScript, C#, JavaScript. We started learning Go last year for Advent of Code, and then boot.dev just happens to be taught in Go, so that's why we're using it. Yeah. I feel like Go was very easy to pick up though. Like coming from TypeScript and C#, I feel like Go was relatively easy to pick up. So we need an update user query. C#, what is that used for in general? I only know full stack development like JavaScript based. C# can be used for just about anything. I mean, it's a very general purpose language. You can use it to build websites, web apps, native apps, mobile apps. I think most commonly you find it in more mature organizations, which I think is kind of an unfortunate side effect of the, I guess, legacy history of it. But for the most part, it's pretty universal. You can use it for most anything. Like RavenDB is a database that is implemented in C#. So you can use it to write high-level code, low-level code, whatever you want to do with it, you can probably do. Microsoft does use it, and that's because Microsoft created it. Microsoft also created TypeScript. I don't know if you knew that. They also, the same guy who's in charge of TypeScript, Anders Hallsberg, he was the original creator of C#. So if you know TypeScript and you're looking for another language that maybe has better performance, C# would probably be an easy jump. Like there's a lot of familiarity between the type systems, especially when it comes to things like generics. It will feel very familiar, but it's by far my favorite language. I used to work with C# before moving into the DevOps. One thing I do remember is that Microsoft docs are not fun to work with. Yeah, Microsoft docs are not particularly wonderful, but they do get the job done. Oh, those guys must be fucking crazy cracked people, bro. Dude, Anders Hallsberg he's cracked. He's about as cracked as it gets if you're into programming languages and language design and all that stuff. Microsoft documentation and Python are awful. Yeah, Python's. I mean, the thing is, I hate to shit on stuff like that because it's for some people. I know Python is wonderful, and I do understand the appeal of it. It just doesn't. It's just not my favorite, right? So like, it's okay for me to have preferences, and it's okay for other people to have preferences. It's not really a true reflection on the quality of the thing itself. Makes it very portable. Indeed, indeed. The hardest thing about me of programming is actually having use cases for it. I totally understand. I think a lot of people struggle with that because there's a lot of people who come into chat when I'm streaming and they'll ask like, what should I build? Or how do you know what to build? And I think to some extent it's largely, it's the same thing with like content. You know, if you haven't made a lot of content before, it can be hard to think like, what should I make? Or what should I write about? What should I make content about? And I think it just requires you to like start to practice tuning your brain to being aware of things that previously you weren't aware of. Like for example, like with code or having use cases for building stuff or doing computer programming, you just kind of start like attenuating yourself to like any bits of friction in your life or in your workflows or in other people's workflows. And you're constantly just trying to ask yourself, like, could I build something, create something, write something that would make this easier or less friction, right? It's kind of this, to me, that's the key is like, there's lots of things in your life that you probably just put up with and just deal with that with the right software or the right hardware, you could probably make it at least better, if not solve it completely. Fun fact, Unity is C#, XNA is C#, so a lot of games are written in C#, making them runnable on mobile, Windows, Mac, and Linux. I knew Unity was C#. I'd never heard of XNA, though. Realistically, if I wanted something I need use cases, it should be C or C++ and messing around with RF hardware stuff. Yeah, and I don't have much experience in that world, so I have very little to offer. I really like Code Crafters as a starting point if you don't know what to build. I've never used Code Crafters before, but I've heard good things. I heard, unfortunately, Code Crafters kind of shut down, right, as a business. Like, they're not really... I think they're keeping the website up and running, but they're not adding new challenges. When I read their blog post, it kind of seemed like they were looking to try to sell it to somebody else, which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate they couldn't turn it into a successful... sustainable business. Yeah. I understand though, their challenges looked really tough, you know, so I'm guessing for a lot of developers and programmers, it's just when you think about your time allocation, it's like, should I allocate my time to trying to rebuild Git? Or should I go try to build my own projects, you know, something new, something novel, something I'm actually interested in, right? All right, let's do this. We'll do name, update user, and we want it to return the user. And for now, we're just going to support updating. Let's say we'll just support updating the email and the hash password. So we'll say set email to $1, and we'll set the hash password to $2, where ID equals $. Yeah, let's move this around. Let's do $. 1, and we'll change this to 2, 3. So give me the ID, then give me the email, give me the hash password. And then I think we also want to go ahead and just set updated at to now. And then we need to return it. So how do I return? Oh, we can start our next working session too. We just use the returning keyword. Returning like that. Okay. So we'll do SQL C generate. Okay. And let's see if my wishful programming worked. That's hash password. Oh, we need the ID. So ID equals request user ID. Okay, so this is the one part about the SQL C generation that I don't really care for. Because it's not totally obvious that this ID is going to be used to look up the user. But we can live with it. We can live with this API. That's fine. Okay, so if the updated user is available, then we need to set to updated user dot ID. Nope, we don't want to do that. ID equals updated dot string. Then we do created at equals updated user created at format time dot RFC 339 updated at and then lastly the email. Okay, let's try to submit. I don't like that I have to always type yes now. Is there a way I can just pass a yes flag? Run a lesson without submitting. Runs your next lesson when no UUID is given. Yeah, I don't want to have to always answer yes, man. Okay, can I just, what about -y? Man, that's annoying. Okay. Guess I have to live with it. That's super annoying. They need to add a flag that just automatically acknowledges that you want to submit. Have to split, phone is overheating. See you, man. Have a good day. Appreciate you sticking around as long as you did. All right, now we're going to implement deleting a chirp. Let's see. Mux.handle fun. This file is getting so huge, man. Delete API /chirp/ ID server dot handle delete chirp, which does not exist. This is an authenticated endpoint, so be sure to check the token in the header. Only allow the deletion of a chirp if the user is the author of the chirp. If they are not, return a 403. If the chirp is deleted successfully, return a 204 status. If the chirp is not found, return a 404. Let's see, func has receiver type server handle chirp delete http.response writer. This is going to be a request. And then the first thing we need to do is we need to try to resolve. No, the first thing we need to do is make sure they're authenticated. So the first thing we should do is we should say, do you have a access token? Okay, so then next thing we need to do is we need to validate it. So we'll say request user ID auth.validate JWT, pass in the access token, pass in the JWT secret. If error does not equal nil, man, we write that so much. Okay, so if request user ID, we should probably at this point make sure that the chirp that they're requesting to delete belongs to the user. Yeah. Actually, what we should do is we should say existing chirp. We should say s database dot get chirp by ID, chirp ID. Okay, so we've got some validation we need to do here where we say what is it? Chirp ID error, or no, I think it's just chirp ID equals r dot get or path value, and this will be ID. And I guess if this, I think this returns an empty string, but I think what we can do is we can just say valid chirp ID equals uuid dot parse, pass in the chirp ID, and then we can say if error does not equal nil, we can return, and we'll write a http://status bad request. And we'll say, what do we say? We'll just say chirp ID must be a valid UUID. Okay, if it is valid, then we'll look it up. Right? Right. Yeah, right. So if air does not equal nil, then we'll return a 404 response here. And we'll say chirp ID must be a valid UUID for an existing chirp. And that means we can actually take this guy. Let's extract that to just a invalid chirp ID error equals this. Okay, so then at this point we do have an existing chirp, but we need to make sure that the existing chirp's user ID, if it does not equal the request user ID, then we will return with a unauthorized or a forbidden status code. Status code is, which is kind of interesting because we use the status unauthorized, the 401, to mean that somebody's really what we're saying with 401 is we're saying you're not authenticated, right? But we call the status unauthorized, and we use 403 forbidden to say you're not authorized. So it's kind of an interesting. People get so worked up about the authorization versus authentication discussion, and yet the HTTP status codes that we use to represent those scenarios in web development are not appropriately, I guess, named according to what those folks like to argue about, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. Chirp ID you cannot delete a chirp that does not belong to you. So if we got this far, now we should be able to delete the chirp. So let's do s.database.delete chirp by ID. We'll have to write a new SQL query for this. If error does not equal nil, then we write a JSON response. And we'll just say, what do we say? We will say, yo, bro, we couldn't delete that shiz. And otherwise, we will return a no content response. Delete chirp by ID. Yeah, that doesn't exist yet. So let's go write our query for that. So let's just steal it from the yeah, we can just steal it from here. It's not the exact same, but it'll work. So we get started. So we'll do delete chirp by ID like that. This will be delete from chirps, and then we'll say where ID equals $1. Then we'll jump over here, run SQL generate. And now we should have hopefully a new method. Handle, delete, chirp. What did I call it? Handle, chirp, delete. That needs to be renamed. Handle, delete, chirp. Like this. Like this. For security reasons, I think 401 is better all the times. Really? Huh. But then how would you have people be able to differentiate between something's forbidden and something's not? You're not authenticated, right? Like maybe on the front end, you want to be able to display different UIs, right? Maybe if you're authenticated but not authorized, you want to be able to kick them to a particular screen in your front end or your client. But if they are actually not authenticated, then you want to redirect them to the login page. So I feel like you should still make use of the two different status codes, because you may want to, your caller might want to do different things depending on the actual state of like, you can't do that versus we can't even identify who you are to figure out what you can and can't do. Also, hello, Bodkarachai? Bodkarachai, I think is how you say your name. Alrighty. I think we're ready to give this a test. Yes? Huh? Yeah, I'm streaming. Why? You can come in here. Oh, nice. Are you gonna run and get some? You want me to run and get it? Do you need it like right now? Oh. Alright. I'll wrap up here and go get it. Well, you don't want your chili to be ruined. Yeah. So I'll wrap up and then I'll go get it. That's okay. Love you. All right, I'm gonna finish up this lesson, and then I gotta go to the grocery store and get something. For all my so many viewers out there. Let's see. Where were we? We were gonna submit it. Sorry. Got distracted. My wife came and asked me a question and I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, damn it. Expected status code 403 but got 401. Oh, yep, see it? Yep. That's why you need armor. That's why you need armor. It's also why I should be writing tests for all this stuff and I'm not. Woohoo! And I earned my daily chest. Did I level up? No, I didn't level up. How far away am I from leveling up? God, I'm so close. I just need 1,000 more XP. let's see. It looks like now they want me to add webhooks. Webhooks sound like a scary advanced concept, but they're quite simple. They are very simple, but people get really twisted up about them. For example, here in boot.dev, we use Stripe as a third-party payment processor. When a student makes a payment, Stripe sends a webhook to boot.dev servers so that we can unlock the student's membership. Idempotent or idempotency is a fancy word that means... Sorry, my wife just texted me. No, let's see. Key. Okay, add a migration to the users table to include a new column is chirpy red. This column should be a Boolean. It should default to false. Add a database query that upgrades a user to chirpy based on their ID. Okay. If the user is upgraded successfully, the endpoint should return. Update all endpoints that return user resources to include the is chirpy red field. All right, let's see if I can finish this. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it. Okay, I really would like to, I'm probably going to stream again later today because I'd really like to do more. I'd like to level up, and I've been trying to just only do boot.dev when I stream. So I'll try to turn the stream on later today when I sit back down to work on this. This is the last chapter in this course, and then where you get to start a new course. Let's see, what is the next course? File servers and CDNs, huh? Interesting. I don't know if I want to mess with AWS S3 though. I hate dealing with cloud services. All right. What did we do today? We did a bunch of stuff. Let's see, feature, whoops. We made it better. aka I did too many things and don't remember. Get rid of this one, get rid of that one. All right, I'm out of here. Real quick before I leave, that's a good that's a good commit. Usually it's just did stuff for me. Well, usually I do if it is for work, if it's work related, I take my commit history like super seriously. Like if you look at all the commits I've ever made in my company's repo, it's very like actually because I don't want anyone to like think I don't care about what I'm doing. So I try to make my commits logical and relatively well grouped and have good descriptive messages. But when it's my personal stuff like this, I sometimes I don't take it so seriously. Yeah. It's when it's your personal stuff, it's good to have fun. Although some of the developers I work with, they have fun with their commit messages too. You know, sometimes it is appropriate to say this sucked in a commit message. It's good times. All right, I want to check in right before I end the stream. I want to check in real quick on. I was using a new service to stream, and I think it worked pretty well. It looks like my stream was healthy on Twitch today, and it was healthy on YouTube, so that's good. And I also have started streaming on a new site. If you're into the app protocol, there's a new website. I don't know how long it's been around. It's called stream.place, and it is a streaming / video platform that is built on App Proto. And I just started streaming to it today. So if you're interested in supporting stuff that's going on in the App Proto world, you should probably go check out this app. It's pretty sick. Streaming using at Proto. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, so it seems like that's working good too. Let me look at my dashboard. Yeah, looks like it's been healthy. Cool. Where we can find news aggregator you were working on? News aggregator. I think you're talking about the blog aggregator, right? The RSS feed. SMS. I think you're talking about this guy right here. See, boot.dev. I think the course you're looking for is this one. Build a blog aggregator. Let me see. Let's see, you're over there on the YouTubes. So that's the course, if you'd like to do the course and build your own. And then I also put my my streams where we built it in a playlist. Let me get that playlist for you. I don't know if you're actually interested in my playlist, but I will share that with you as well. It was a fun project. You could definitely probably do more with it than what I did. I just did the bare minimum of what the course required, but I'm guessing there's actually some pretty cool features you could add to it. Probably even turn it into a TUI if you wanted. That would be kind of cool. Have a RSS reader in the terminal, and maybe you could parse the HTML into Markdown and render it like Markdown in the terminal. It'd be kind of a cool little TUI application to build. All right, I gotta go run to the grocery store and get some cream cheese for my wife's recipe. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning. Like I said, I might be on later today. I'd like to work more on the boot.dev stuff. So if you see me on later today, please feel free to stop by. Otherwise, I shall see you tomorrow morning or around the interwebs. Could pipe the HTML to Pandoc. There you go. There you go. That's a good idea. All right. See you guys. Bye. Have a good day.